Cat hair all over my shirt because my cats like to sleep in my closet. You smell that? No, it's not apple pie. It's the smell of a freshly baked season of 1,000 Pound Sisters. Side note, I know pumpkin pie and pumpkin spice season are like things that people do, but what about apple pie, which is obviously superior? I'm reminiscing about the many times I've wanted to eat an entire apple pie in one sitting. This video is sponsored by me and my website, jasminebakerart.com. I am an artist, always have been, always will be. I specialize in making drawings look like photos. I'd like to introduce you to a newer piece, which is this Barbie drawing from my manufactured series. Prints begin shipping this month. These will be a limited run and prints start at only $10, so be sure to visit that if you're a Barbie fan and pre-order your print. Just to recap, Tammy in the last season, she got her weight loss surgery, she had gotten sick, she met a man, and she married him in rehab. That about sums it up. Chris needs to hit a certain weight goal before he can get weight loss surgery. Amy is getting overwhelmed with having 2 little kids, and Michael is just sitting there, not sure what purpose he's serving. Tammy and Caleb are married now, and they're in the same rehab room, so there's that.
I'm really happy with Caleb. He's the best thing that has possibly ever happened to me.
Just for the record, I completely disagree with getting married to someone that you've only known for a couple of weeks.
In my opinion, we're the kind of couple that makes people sick.
Okay, now stop being sappy.
Yeah, now I'm sick. Skip the sappy stuff. On a positive note, they were motivating each other to progress in their weight loss.
You know the plan. No days off. Just hit the gym.
I'm behind you.
Caleb did unfortunately pass away after the taping of these episodes, so we don't actually have a lot of information about that. I don't know how long he was actually in the rehab center, and I don't believe he and Tammy were married for very long before they split apart. I guess Caleb was starting to fall into some bad eating habits. As of this episode, which is the first episode in season 5, he appears to be more mobile at that point. Tammy is almost at a 300-pound weight loss. We never thought she would get to this point, and there she is. That's like the weight of 2 people. Tammy gets her trach removed. Do you remember when she made Tisa push her in the wheelchair instead of putting in the effort to move her adult legs into a walking motion? She was constantly complaining about needing to lose weight, but the fact that she had to use a wheelchair and she couldn't fit into the backseat of a van, those were not motivation enough. Seriously, they had to put an entire row of seats down just so that she could travel in a van in an unsafe way because she wasn't able to use a seatbelt.
I miss so much though. Kids' birthdays, get-togethers, just ready to get back there, you know.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have missed so much if you didn't weaponize your incompetence. You should not be eating that in a day, and I know for a fact that she eats at least that amount in a day. That's why she gained weight after the last doctor's appointment. Or no, she actually gained weight before she went to the doctor. She gained 12 pounds back when she came back from rehab. Tammy? Not being able to stand in the kitchen to cook her own meals, play with her nephews, and making people do everything for her weren't enough motivation. The doctor telling her she was going to die was definitely an insufficient eye-opener. Instead, she wasted time instead of doing the maximum of what she could do to change her health. I actually learned something from Dr. Phil. Let me just explain, hear me out. I know he's problematic, but just bear with me. He once talked about this thing called learned helplessness that people such as Tammy, for example, can often fall into. It's when you aren't putting in the maximum effort of what your abilities are. For example, people with a chronic illness may be able to only cook themselves a meal before they've drained their energy for the day. Then that's all they can do. That's all they should do. That is 100% of what they are able to do. Then you have Tammy, who refused to even measure out her food, do a food journal, and plan her meals for the week. Even though she didn't work, so it's definitely not a job that was taking up her time, it was definitely taking up Amy's time. If planning her meals and counting her macros were 100% of what she was able to do at the time that she was over 600 pounds, then that's what she should have focused on, because it's better than doing nothing.
Boy, you quick. Come here. Come here, buddy.
Michael didn't help much. Shocking, I know.
After Glenn was born, Michael didn't help much. I had to learn how to deal with one baby, make a bottle, and hold a different baby at the same time.
Why does she have to be the only parent?
This is not what I pictured when I signed up to be a mother. I signed up to parent together.
I can tell by how she talks that she's stressed out and she feels like she's doing everything alone.
But there are some times I want to pull my hair out. I got so much on my plate. I got Mom, I got the boys, I got Tammy. She's coming home.
I swear every time I see him, he's like, I don't know.
It's like, how do you do all these things?
What do you know, Michael?
Every aspect of my life is chaotic because I have no support. I'm trying to get stuff ready for Tammy, trying to chase after the boys, trying to chase after Michael. It's just a lot.
That's very stressful. I actually know somebody that has 2 toddlers that are very close together in age. Just watching them makes me exhausted. Imagine dealing with that day in and day out without a break. They spill things, they touch things they're not supposed to. You have to watch them every second. If you turn your back for half of a second, they could be putting their lives in danger. There's so much cleaning. It gives me anxiety just thinking about it.
He can't get his check out. I can't imagine walking out of this place without my husband. I really do hope that you get to come home with me.
Caleb has a long ways to go before he can leave rehab because he's not even able to breathe on his own. He still has a lot of progress that he needs to make, and that means that Tammy will be released before him.
Biggest part of my life because of my weight. I'm not mentally prepared to leave you. I don't know what to do. I'm so ready to go home. But I am worried about him. I don't know, to be honest, if he has the strength to do this on his own.
Yeah, but you're still in your 30s and it was a terrible idea to get married while being in this situation. Have all your ducks in a row. It's kind of hard to believe that Tammy is only like 7 years older than I am.
Okay, you got your sports from your mom. Let's see that. Gage is a typical 2-year-old. They like to move, and they like to move fast.
It's good to see that Amy is trying to keep the kids active and get sunlight. Tammy is mostly breathing on her own now. She does use oxygen, but she no longer has the trach.
That's the first thing I see when I looked at the phone. I'm so happy for Tammy to get her fat ass home. I just need a chill buddy who's an adult. What do you want to do when you first get home besides play with the boys?
Sleep in a real bed.
But I do remember seeing her in more recent pictures than these episodes were shot, and she did not have any oxygen. So at some point after or among filming, she got off of the oxygen.
Leaving my husband behind is one of the hardest things I'll ever have to do. But I'm so ready to go home.
So I'm gonna have to get going. All right, I love you. You gonna say bye?
This season does seem a lot more serious.
After 14 months, I am so excited that Tammy is finally coming home. After Tammy's house got robbed, we decided that Tammy would take over my old house. It made me feel good to know that at least it stays in the family.
I wonder if Amanda has set up a healthy routine of eating with her sons.
I'm afraid. I'm so.
You're missing out on a lot just by sitting.
I really don't feel good.
Do you need an ambulance?
I'll let you know when I need a goddamn ambulance.
What a memorable vacation. Misty and Amanda are going to get surgery again.
Going to see Dr. Smith.
Okay.
We got one last appointment that we have to go see him with, and then final approval is all we're waiting on.
And then we can schedule the surgery.
It's been close to 8 years since I had the first gastric bypass. Since then, I made some bad choices, and I've put on some pounds. So I'm looking to have a revision to help combat the weight gain that I've achieved.
I stand corrected. Misty has not had the surgery yet. Amanda is working to get a previous surgery revised.
Best part of the whole situation.
What?
The family dinners just got cheap.
It's really great to see Chris's progress. He's worked really hard, even though he started the journey after Amy and Tammy.
In a couple weeks, I'm gonna go see Dr. Smith too. And hopefully he gives me the okay for skin removal surgery. So big things are happening in our family.
I feel like he progressed a lot faster than they did. He did have one hiccup where he gained weight, but he ended up losing all that again. It doesn't sound like he's struggling to breathe while he's talking. He sounded way wheezier before. I noticed that even his voice has changed. He used to have like a harder time breathing. When he was talking, it kind of sounded like he was trying to catch his breath.
Hop along Cassidy on a wheelchair.
Tammy got out of that wheelchair in about a second. That's gotta be like a record.
You doing all right, baby girl? 14 months ago, Tammy was over 700 pounds.
717 pounds.
She didn't look like she was struggling to stand, unlike before.
Time is coming to an end. My emotions are everywhere because I don't know when the next time I'm going to be seeing Caleb in person. Why can't things be different? Why can't he be going home too?
I forget how long Caleb has been in the rehab center. He was in one before this one, but I don't know exactly how far he is in his weight loss process by this point in time.
You reach on out there and pull that handle. Tammy got up out of the wheelchair and walked straight out the facility. And that's the most I've seen her really walk. in 3 years.
I'm really curious to see how she adapts to life outside of the rehab center at a much lower weight.
Okay, you can do that too.
I made it! My big ass is in here.
She can fit in the van seat, so that's new.
Before today, the middle seats had to be folded down, and I sat in the floor.
Tammy,
It's been 15 years since I was sitting in a car vehicle seat.
Once you overcome each obstacle, it can give you more motivation to face the next one.
I forgot how short you were, girl.
I'm not smack you, hoe.
I do be forgetting how short she is.
That's right, because she was in a wheelchair almost all the time.
2 years ago, I was literally on top of her, like, because we were so big.
It was hard to know her height.
calm it down.
I can tell Tammy's get very overwhelmed and stressed out. And I'm too. I mean, Gage is running around like crazy, and Michael ain't doing
The chaos!
He's just sitting there looking like boo-boo fool.
Michael is sitting there like a lump. What is going on in that man's head?
Nobody's mentioned the tray. This is the first time my family seen me without a tray. In person. And them bitches didn't even say anything. Alright. She don't even look at it.
The good eye was looking at Chris.
Amy has vision problems and has been in the jokes in previous episodes. They all roast each other all the time. I think she's reacting more because she's just already really stressed out.
Eyesight is my deepest insecurity.
This is the result of a bigger issue, not just a little topic of argument.
She's emotional, that's for damn sure.
Let me go in here and fix this. It's okay to joke about me and say,
I can't even
watch it.
be in a room without getting made fun of.
Stay in here, she's hot. Stay in
Okay,
here.
that's fine. It's not my first rodeo. I'm not the wrong one talking crazy to me because I've been your biggest supporter.
I don't never talk about y'all bad
So don't
at
come for me
all.
unless I stand for you, sis.
So
Don't do
why
that.
y'all always put me down?
Please don't argue in front of your kids. That irks me.
We were all sitting around the table joking, Amy.
But it's always me
It's
that
not
y'all
always
make
you.
fun of.
It was just a joke.
Kids can absorb the tension of a situation that they're exposed to. You can kind of see that the baby looks like he's starting to cry.
She's making it out to be like I'm the villain.
I did not make you out to be the villain. I'm
You
just
are
saying,
making me out to
why
be the
is it
villain.
everybody-
Damn it, shut up!
I hated being in these situations as a kid. I highly disrecommend arguing in front of your kids. They tend to start thinking that it's their fault that you're fighting. Tammy's been home for like an hour.
Welcome home, Tammy. Have you missed that?
I feel disappointed.
I'm quite interested to see what this season has because a lot has happened and everyone has had or is going to have weight loss surgery. It's almost like a Dr. Now dream. You'll see my cats pop up from time to time. She needs to be held. That is a cat rule. Legally, I have to pick her up. Let's have a look-see, see what's in store for season 5 of 1,000 Pound Sisters. Caleb has admitted that he has emotional eating problems now that Tammy has been released from the rehab center.
You miss her?
I ain't gonna lie, it's rough. My emotional eating is spiraling out of control.
So we're probably going to see some of his struggles, what he went through. You're not sitting on me because you're drooling. You can just sit at a distance.
I will be hitting 2 major goals on this trip. First flight. And first time going to the beach.
I can honestly say that it never, ever, 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 ever occurred to me that Tammy would get to this point.
It's nothing like seeing it in person.
I am very overwhelmed and stressed out. And Michael don't do nothing.
I can't do this.
Amy is just about ready to explode, and can you blame her?
Amy's always on the verge of tears. She's always on edge.
If you don't fix the things that are wrong, it's not going to end well for you. You have a husband that is perfectly capable of taking care of these kids for you to have a moment.
I feel like I'm at my breaking point.
I can't imagine being around somebody that's just so unsupportive. He just stands there.
Why can't I have my card?
Give her her money.
I ain't giving
You got 2 seconds to give her the debit card.
No, he's got 2 seconds to get out of my house.
I ain't done. You get out of my house.
Make me.
Michael, I've never heard this many words come out of your mouth. When you combine all the seasons, this is the most that he's ever talked in this entire show. So far, what we have learned today is make sure you stick to your goals, little tiny goals each day. If that's more doable for you, then by all means do it. We also learned that Tammy is capable of a lot. Please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so you can get notified when I upload. I make story times, I do TV commentary, and I do movie reviews. Anyways, I will see you next time. Be sure to check out my previous videos. I will leave those in the description and at the end of this video. Let me know what you think about this show if you watch it. And if you want me to review other shows, leave them in the comments. Toodaloo. Cat. She starts purring and then she starts drooling. No, I don't want you drool in my hair, but thank you for offering. You're drooling on me. Oh. Gross.
My name came up a lot of sounds. More when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about. My name came up a lot of sounds. More when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about. My name came up a lot of sounds. More when I was not around. Certain people that I know.